Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I wanted to talk about why the victim of narcissistic abuse loves so much. And loves so deeply. And well, I should clarify. Us narcissistic abuse survivors that were the scapegoats, not the golden child. Us survivors that have empathy. And not only have empathy, but we have empathy to a very high degree. You see, if we grew up in a narcissistically abusive home, we were deprived of many things. We were deprived of love. Even though our narcissistic parent or parents told everyone how much they loved us. But at home it was a different story. Our lives were constantly sabotaged. Anything that would help us get a leg up in the world always seemed like it would have a bad ending. Usually because the narcissist stuck their hand into our life and purposely screwed things up to the point we pretty much became used to failure. And then we finally got to the point where we stopped trying because we didn't want to fail. And also because we didn't want to succeed as well, because that usually meant more involvement from our narcissistic parent or parents. We watched our talents and skills languish away. All the while our narcissistic parent or parents not having a care in the world. And as a result of our upbringing as children, we from the very start of our lives began making narcissistically abusive friends that mistreated us, and we would just sit there and take it because we didn't want to lose the friend. A friend we never had to begin with. And all of these horrible life things kept happening. And we would still love to a strong and great degree. But why is that? Well, you see, it's being deprived that sets us up to be hit hard when something good happens for us. Or someone does something nice for us. We tingle inside from our head to our toes when the average person may not feel this way. And the reason is it's not normal for us to have people do nice things for us. I was once told by a friend that the family love he experiences day to day, it's so normal that he almost forgets about it and takes it for granted. It's normal. It's always there, like the fridge always being full of food. I was able to deduce that when your fridge or your heart is always full with healthy love, and you've received it on a constant basis since you were a young child, you will love at a more even and slow pace. But when you've never received love before and then someone is nice to you, everything seems so sped up, so to speak. And it's a lot easier for the love bombing the narcissist does in the early stages of knowing us to take effect. Here's a great example. I remember the first apartment I got like it was yesterday. I was so happy to be out of my family home and away from my narcissist mother. I was overjoyed. I laid face down on the carpet floor of this empty apartment and thanked God I was free. And though I wasn't truly free, because I ended up meeting Susie and got abused again, I can still to this day recall the emotions and feelings I had when I moved out of my mom's home. But the normal person that grew up in a good home life might have been happy with their first place. But soon that feeling fades. And if you ask them 10 years later how they felt, they may give you a real plain answer. Because it doesn't mean much to them anymore. But to you or I, you can ask us 50 years later and we will be able to recall those feelings and emotions very strong, just like it were yesterday. Imagine if you were starving, and someone came along and offered you a free meal. You would be overjoyed, right? Now let's say money isn't a problem for you at all, but you get a coupon for a free meal at a place to eat you like. You might be very happy. But a year later you might forget it happened unless someone reminds you. But if you were hungry and someone fed you, you would remember that incident for the rest of your life. Well, the way we love is very comparable to these examples. We have been starved of love our entire life. And when someone does something nice for us, or enters our life as a dating partner, the chemicals shoot like mad in our minds. And we get the biggest high of our life. A high we get quickly addicted to. Now this isn't to say someone that has been raised in a normal home can't fall into this trap. It's just harder for them to. Because if they've received love all of their life, and someone comes along trying to basically buy their love, or flatter them with excessive compliments and attention, though they will feel good, They might not get the intense high off of these emotions that we will. And this gives them more of a chance to think rationally about what is going on. They can better check in with themselves and ask themselves, why is this person being so nice to me? What do they want? They can watch the red flags a bit better and hopefully react. It's not perfect, but they tend to think a bit more clearly than us. And for good reason. We aren't so used to love to where we almost take it for granted because it's always there, like the person that has received love their entire life. When someone even remotely acts like they love us or like us, it floods our emotions and we love hard just as much as we are being love bombed. Or even more so. And this is what tells the narcissist they have us right where they want us. Someone that can think clearly and that can question things as they are happening will make the narcissist pull back in the early stages. So they can now direct their attention to someone that isn't asking so many questions. Someone that will mirror the love bombing they are giving out. Someone that is so intoxicated with the chemicals shooting off in their brain. They aren't able to stop and ask questions like, is this normal? They don't even know me that well. You see, part of doing the self-work to recovering from childhood narcissistic abuse is realizing you not only were never loved, but you are deficient in love as a result. And anything you and your body is deficient in, you will overcompensate to make up the difference. That is until you know better to do better. When you are deficient in love, you should regularly check in with yourself a bit more often than the average person when dealing with new or old friends and people you might be dating or possibly consider dating. If you go into a situation knowing you are deficient, you can purposely slow yourself down so you can take a step back and see a situation for what it is. If you don't know you are deficient, and someone starts love bombing you, you might think what's happening to you is normal. And this is somehow how normal relationships go. And you will then act off of the first emotions you start to feel, which will be strong emotions and feelings of love. Because you are overcompensating for something you are deficient in. Your body might also do this because of a lack of food intake. And then when you eat a candy bar, your body will do its best to rush in on that candy bar you just ate to see what nutritional value it can gain in order to keep your body from shutting down. Even though it's a crappy candy bar. Well, your mind, spirit, and soul are the same thing. If you are lacking in love, and someone gives you an emotional candy bar, you will respond with all the love in the world because your emotions are overcompensating. As if it was an emotional full-course meal. Now I do believe most of us were just born naturally empathic. All praises to the Most High for that. And I think that's what kept us from turning into narcissists ourselves. But it's also because we were never loved that I believe is another real reason why we love so much and deeply. And most importantly to note, we are loving without control over ourselves and the situation that's happening to us. We never ever had it. So when we get it, we relish it and relish it fondly. A simple success will make you feel like you climbed the tallest mountain. But someone that has had many successes since they were a child will shrug at this small success in their life and move on. So simply put, we were both born and made. And so this loving so deeply doesn't turn into a curse. You need to learn how to see it for what it is. Be able to step back and check in with yourself. So loving deeply can become a blessing. But you have to understand how you got to be who you are before you can do that. But once you can do that, each day being able to check in with yourself becomes easier and easier. And heck, check in with yourself more than once a day. Talk to yourself about how you feel and what's going on in your life. See if you are reacting too strongly about a situation. Ask yourself, is it normal to feel the way you feel? Or do you just feel like that because you've been missing out for so long? And I will tell you, the more you can do this for yourself, the more you will have mastery over your emotions and feelings. And loving becomes that much better because you know you are loving for all the right reasons. Not just because someone didn't love you the way they were supposed to when you were an innocent child. When we know better, we do better. And we are learning and growing each day to become the people we were always meant to be. It's not too late. The game is still going. The narcissist hasn't won. And as long as there's still time on the clock, we still have a chance to learn the rules of the game and win. And win big. Because like I always say, knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we can live happy and healthy lives. Until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.